Sharkie Gamer here. So today we're taking a look at a bit of an unusual accessory. This is the Hori PeriBorg ORE Commander. At least I think that's how you pronounce it. It's ORE Commander. This is the black version. It also comes in white as well as red. Now, what is the ORE Commander? Well, basically, it's a vibration unit that you attach to your finger, and it allows you to press buttons at a higher speed. So they advertise basically up to 20 clicks per second. So it's basically a vibration accessory that helps you press buttons faster. So this is the front of the box. You can see the PeriBorg logo as well as the Hori logo up top, and a whole load of Japanese writing, and of course through the display window you can sort of see it. The sides of the box just have PeriBorg. On the back of the box it gives you a bit of a closer look at it. So you can see it's like a finger attachment. And there's a lot of information here written all on Japanese. So let's open this up and I'll give you a bit of a closer look at what this thing looks like. So first off, you get a bit of a manual. Again, it's all in Japanese. Again, it shows you how to put on your finger, how to install the batteries, etc. So it comes in plastic like this. So you get 4 batteries with it. They are AAA's. Pulling this out of the box, batteries. Okay, so this is the ORE Commander. So it's a really weird looking thing. Now normally when you buy this brand new, these little straps, you'll have to install them. You just kind of thread them through those grooves and put them in. And this is basically what holds this unit to your finger. This area here is your battery pack. So this is where you actually install your batteries. You just slide this open and you install the batteries in here. Slide it closed. So the batteries are now installed. Now underneath this thing, it's got a bit of a strap here, so you can actually strap it to your hand or your arm, depending on which type of layout you kind of want with it. And you can see on the actual unit it says PeriBorg. That's this main unit here, and you notice there's a little movement there. Now on the top here, you've got a couple of switches. On the side here it says off and off. It says on and it says hold. Basically when you have it on, it'll vibrate. So if you have the bottom one to on, it vibrates standard speed. If you have it on that one, it vibrates a bit faster. And if you have them both on hold, it'll constantly vibrate. And I'll explain that a bit more in a moment. Now basically, like I said, this is a finger attachment that helps you press buttons faster. But there are 2 different ways you can actually put it onto your hand. Type A and Type B. So Type A is when you want to use your thumb, and your thumb is what you need to actually press the buttons with. So that kind of layout, what you need to do, put this a bit bigger, is you need to put it on your hand like this. Of course you strap it in so it's a bit more tighter. So it basically has to sit in the middle of your hand, and then this thing actually goes onto your thumb. So you just adjust these to how much actual room you need. Need a little bit more on this side. Alright, and that goes onto your thumb. And you can adjust it once you have it there, so it's nice and tight, and it fits there nicely. So that is Type A. You've got the unit on your thumb, and you've got the main battery pack on your hand. Now to turn it on, and I'll just show you the couple of different vibrations first. If you have it just on the first speed there, that's the bottom sort of little switch onto on. If you clip your finger forward a bit, it'll start vibrating. So as soon as you straighten your finger, it stops. As soon as you bend your finger, it vibrates again. Now if you turn on the second switch and do the same thing, it goes faster. So it's just a higher speed of vibration. Now if you put onto hold, the whole unit will vibrate anyway, without me straightening or bending the finger. Turn it up a speed. So we'll just turn it off for now. So how would you use that? Well, in type A, if you want to actually use your thumb to press buttons really fast, for instance on a gamepad controller. So I've just got a PS3 one here just to show example, and we'll turn it on to the first speed, we'll turn off the second speed. When I actually bend my finger, it's going to press the button. I'll try to get a good view at this, but if you have it on your button there and you do it, you can see it's pressing that button really fast. And I'm not actually trying to press it, the actual vibration is just moving my finger up and down, and it's pressing it at really high speed. I'll try a different button to get a bit of... If I turn it up a speed, so the second switch, you can see it's going a lot faster. Of course, if I straighten my finger, it stops. Bend my finger, it continues. So you can imagine where this is used. Basically, you're playing a game. You can hold the gamepad as normal, but as soon as you bend your finger, you can start pressing buttons at a much higher speed. Now the last function on there that says hold, if you have it to hold on both sides, obviously you've got two speeds there, it'll just vibrate no matter if you've got it straight or not, so you can just hold your finger over a button and press it. Doesn't matter if you actually got your finger straight or bent or what. So you can imagine where this comes into play. It's if you want to press a button more faster with your thumb, you have this on, and you either have it on the first speed or the second speed as well, or you have it on hold on both speeds or one or the other, and that'll allow you to actually have it vibrating constantly, so it's pressing that button. So they say it roughly does about 20 clicks per second, which is a lot of button presses per second really when you think about it. And it's constantly doing this and vibrating up and down, hitting that button, and you can actually hear it when I have that on, and so you're hitting that button. But say you don't want to use your thumb, say you actually want to use your finger. That is the type B layout. So to set up with type B, you just pull this off your thumb, you change this around. This actually then goes through onto your arm here. You tighten that on the arm so it's nice and secure. And then this comes onto your finger like this, and again you'll probably have to tighten it to suit. Probably need it a little bit tighter than that. That should be alright. So that's what it looks like when it's on the type B layout. So you've got on your finger, and you've got that on your basically wrist. And of course the settings are the same if you've got it on the first mode and you do it. As soon as you bend your fingertip, you stop, it won't do it. Second speed, a bit more faster. And of course you can put on hold if you wanted to do it on its own without you actually bending or straightening your finger. And of course this is ideal. I'll just put on the first speed. It's ideal if you want to get something back here, or something that you're holding, you want to get a back button. So of course you just bend your finger slightly. And you can see it's hitting that button. Turn the speed up. And of course you can also put it on to hold. And you can hit that pretty fast. So you can tell it's hitting that button really fast at the moment. Alright, and that's not the only good thing about this, because you can use it on a gamepad like this, and obviously just bend it when you need to hit, and then straighten if you don't want to use it like that. Or just do this, and then bend it when you need to actually press it fast. But you can also use it with other controllers. So, that's a gamepad way. But say you were playing a fighter game or something like Street Fighter or Tekken or something like that. Say you're playing something and you needed an arcade stick. Then you could use the same way. So you can hear that hitting that button, and you can easily switch between multiple buttons, and it's pressing that button multiple times. And again, you can have different speeds, so you can have the slower speed, you can have the faster speed, or you can just put on hold, which means it's going to vibrate anyway, and just hold your finger on whatever button that you want to press. And then it's going to press that button really repeatedly in really fast motion. So it's pretty cool. So you can imagine you can use this with any type of controller, arcade stick, controller, gamepad type controller, anything. And of course you can either have it with this A setup or B setup, and you can either have it on your right hand or your left hand, whatever you prefer. It's universal, you can have it on either hand, so whatever hand you need to actually press multiple buttons, you can either have it set up on your thumb or on your finger. And you could virtually have it on another finger if you wanted to, but you'd have to just practice with basically triggering it when you bend your finger like that. You'd have to practice a bit on getting it right, so when you're bending it, it's actually hitting it on the mark and it's turning it on. So this thing actually works. I've tried it with some games. It presses the buttons all successfully at pretty great speed. The only thing I notice is if you press it, if you have it a bit off on the button and not quite on the button properly, it's not going to be enough. You actually have to have your button, your actual finger has to be quite over the button, almost like you're going to press it, and then this thing will do all the rest of the work. If you don't have it quite over the button, you just go on top of the button, it's not going to actually hit it. It's just actually virtually vibrating on top of the button. You actually have to press down the button sort of slightly, and then this thing will do the rest of the work. Other than that though, it presses the buttons really nicely. And I wanted to try this with a keyboard. So on my keyboard on my PC, I did this on top of the keys just to see what would happen. I had Microsoft Word open to see how many letters would come up and what kind of rate it would kind of do. And yeah, it pretty much filled the line, like one whole line, with whatever letter or number I was pressing in a matter of seconds. So it really does, it presses the button multiple times. It really does. So, as strange as it looks, and it does look pretty strange, it's a weird vibration contraption hooking to your hand and wrist. It's pretty weird looking. But it actually works. So the idea of this is, of course, it's for gamers that want an aid when playing games to allow them to speed, when they're pressing buttons. Basically, it's sort of like an autofire function, but it's attached to your hand and your finger. So it's an autofire attached to your finger. It's probably the best way to explain it. Now these things are pretty hard to find, and when you see them, especially on eBay, the prices for these things are just ridiculous. I don't really think they're worth the prices on eBay at the moment. You got some eBay sellers wanting up to like $200 for these things, which is ridiculous. But yes, they're very hard to find. You don't see them very easily. It's a kind of a weird contraption from Japan. And the good thing about this is not system specific, which means this will work with any system that has a controller that has buttons on it. So if you've got a controller and it's got buttons, this thing will work. So there's no system requirement or anything like that. The only thing I can think about is that if the button was actually firm, like you get some controls that have really, really firm buttons, I would say this thing would still press it. But it may have issues on how much it presses it, so you'll probably find it won't press it as much as it presses like a PS3 controller or an arcade stick. So if it has a bit more stiffer buttons, you may find it won't work as well. But it probably will still work. I don't expect it not to work because it presses these buttons really easily. So it's a pretty cool and unusual accessory. I don't know, it's an interesting design. It's a nice concept, and it does work. So you guys, that was the PeriBorg ORE Commander. At least, like I said, I think that's how you say it. Very unusual accessory that's supposed to help you press buttons faster, and it definitely does that. So you guys, thanks for watching. I am Sharkie Gamer. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll have heaps more gaming controller and accessory videos up very soon. Feel free to leave a comment down below, and if you like this video, hit that like button. It really helps a lot. Just hit the like button. Thanks for watching, guys.